Hi, everyone. This is Deborah Hancock with the Gold's Gym Franchisee Association. We are very excited again this year, as you know, to be co-partnering with Gold's Gym Corporate in hosting the 2020 Gold's Gym Challenge. We hosted a webinar about a week ago that walked all of the team leaders through the steps to just get organized and get started to run the challenge itself. Today's webinar is actually called a VFP Tool Orientation, and this is an introduction and an overview to the use of the new tool created by the Visual Fitness Planner team to run and support the 2020 Gold's Gym Challenge. We're very excited to have Darren Allen with us today, president of Visual Fitness Planner. He is going to present on this platform and introduce all of us to the new tool. We also have a couple of other people with us. Dave Kenyon is the chairman of the Gold's Gym Challenge. He's a franchisee of the Gold's Gyms in upstate New York, Dutchess County, New York, and he's one of the two franchisees that originally started the Gold's Gym Challenge. So he is here to support the teams and all. And then we also have from Gold's Gym Corporate, Melody Kazar, and she also can support the teams with questions that might come up that are not directly related to the Visual Fitness Planner tool. Today's focus is absolutely all about the tool, but when Darren is ready for Q&A, if you do have a question that's not directly related to the tool, both Dave and Melody would probably be able to answer your questions. So with that, I think we're ready to get started. Darren, thank you so much for being with us today.
Very good, Deborah. Thanks for having us on. Dave, thank you, sir. We're excited about this. And like Deborah said, this training on how to leverage the tool should be really quite straightforward this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to begin sharing the actual interface for the challenge this year. One of the things that I would like to make sure that everyone is aware of is we have worked pretty diligently with the team at the Gold's Gym Corporate Clubs, along with the committee, the challenge committee, in enhancing the tool this year so that all of the steps have pop-up messages and pop-up windows that really make this system very much a guided access tool. A couple of things that are really critically important. The first one is that at the end we are, and you should have hopefully already received this, but there is a PDF that has some of the helpful videos that have been recorded by Amy Simpson from the VFP team, and she has done a wonderful job of putting those together. There's also a deck that goes screen by screen should you need to do some additional training with anyone else on the team. They're doing that with your clubs. The other thing, if you have a notepad or something that you're taking notes on, one of the things I want to highlight that is absolutely crucial for everyone to understand, the tool this year with all of the enhancements and all of the guided access pop-up interactions and things that really help guide the tool, this system is only designed for a desktop computer running Chrome or Firefox browsers. So it must be on a Chrome or Firefox browser, and it is designed for use on a desktop computer. Obviously a laptop would work as well, but I do want to point out that it has not been built out to work on Safari or on an iPad or a mobile device for this year. The next thing is, throughout the technology, you're going to be seeing some of these exclamation points, and I'll just make a note that those are not artwork. Those are really designed to get your attention, and make sure that you follow the instructions that pop up on the screen. The first one, as an example here, is to make sure that you select the proper club. The club is difficult to change once you've chosen. And if for some reason your club is not on the list, then you'll want to make sure and contact support. The numbers there, they're here, but they're also going to be within the tool, and then they'll also be in the training guide. What you will want to do, the very first step, whenever you get this link, and again, the link is going to be provided to you, is to select your state. It is really critically important that you select the proper state, and again, the proper club when that club option comes up for you. The next thing is, once you've selected the state, it should narrow down the options to just the clubs that are in that state. Again, trying to make sure that we make it as easy as possible for you to find and select the proper club. And then again, there are going to be these pop-ups throughout the technology that are going to say, are you sure? So it should be very easy to make sure that you don't select the wrong club. I want to mention to you again, when you get going on this, there will be some cookies that save. There will be some cookies that get saved within the technology, and you won't have to change it later. But if you select the wrong club, then you're going to be creating data in the wrong club location, and it just will create significant issues. So please follow the prompts. If anyone else in the club is going to be assisting with this, please make sure that they're very diligent in following the prompts along the way. Again, as you move forward, you're going to get confirmations of having, selected something properly. The next thing that's going to happen is you have the ability to add staff members, and it looks like someone is already, oh yeah, this is one of the corporate clubs. We've already done that training. They've already got all of this done. This is part of our tracking mechanism that allows staff to make sure that they're the proper people to be navigating the technology. It's very, very simple to add a new staff member. This is a brand new function in the technology there this year. Super simple. As you can see, these are already in, but you can add a staff member, and you can certainly put their first and last name, but you don't have to do that. You can just be their first name. But I can go in and put in an example person, and then I can put in the email address for that person within the system. And then once that is done, the next selection is to determine whether you are entering, in terms of the challenge participants, whether you're entering a member team participant, or some clubs have a challenge for their employees. And so if you're going to enter them in the employee team, once you click on this, it is going to select, and it's going to say, hey, you're putting this in as an employee. Again, the exclamation point. And it tells you very clearly, start over if you want to switch back to the member team, or if you're going to confirm, then you could select that. So I'm going to say, well, wait, I didn't mean to click the employee team. Let me start over. You'll notice that I have the new staff member that's already here, so I could select example person. I'm the person that's entering this. and then I would move on to the member team. Again, it says, please confirm, and it lets me know that that is the one that I have selected. The next thing that I want to let you know is we have changed the interface pretty significantly. You'll notice that there is some animation on the screen, and it just points out to you the fact that there is now a new menu up in the top left, and we've added enhanced tools on the menu this year. If you select menu, then it will bring the menu down. We'll go more in depth on the menu and what can be done there later on in the webinar. The other thing you'll notice is it's going to give you confirmation that you are indeed, in fact, in the right location. The next thing is that you can go into the quick add, and this is the tool that you would use if you are wanting to pre-load all of your challenge participants. Let's just say, as an example, that a bunch of people have purchased the challenge. They've said they want to do it. They've signed up, and maybe, they've paid. You've got that, and you're wanting to make sure that all of those participants are added into the technology so that on your actual measurement day, you're able to go significantly faster. So once I click on the quick add button, it is going to take me to the creating a new contestant, and I can obviously go in and put in a test person. You're going to notice that anything that has an asterisk is a required field. If it does not have the asterisk, then it would not be required. So you put in the person's information there. Obviously, everyone does require a birthday. And then you can, in order to change the year, a couple of ways that you can do that. You can obviously use the scroll back by year there, or you could highlight the year. Actually, no, looks like we have to scroll through the year. So I can actually just go through and scroll through all the years and get to that particular year for that person. Let me just see if I can. No, if I don't have the drop down, I can. 1999 is my person's birth year. It is going to require the phone number and obviously an email address there. And so I will put in that email address there, and nothing else is required other than the gender. And so I can do the gender, and it will give me the selection, and then I will select save. Once I have saved, it's going to give a confirmation page. This is locked in. You're not going to do any editing. If you want to do editing, it's going to be on the dashboard. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It also automatically generates your contestant ID, which is obviously going to be important for the photographs. This contestant ID is system generated and it cannot be changed. So if you want, some clubs like to take a note of that at this moment in time, so they have an additional log of that. But again, those will be within the system that you can find and look those up later as well. Then once I say, yep, I'm ready to go, I go ahead and move forward. And now I'm going to go into the first piece of data entry, and that is determining their flight. And so there are really only two things that you can change here. One is the flight date, and it's only going to give you the options of the flight date that you would like to select. And then the other thing that it is going to ask you to do is to select the measurement date. And so let's just say that, as an example, someone is launching this week of the 30th, within that week, but your particular club in that week, you're going to maybe offer 2 measurement dates. Some clubs only offer 1, but let's just say you offered that. I would encourage you to go ahead and select the date that's secondary. This date can be changed on the actual date when you were entering, and I'll show you that in a moment. The Data fields that are highlighted in gray are something that cannot be changed. They've already been locked into the system. So then it's quite simple. You would begin moving forward. It would create the official entry form. And then at this point, you could just go straight back to the dashboard, or you could send an email to the person. Obviously, if there are no photos that have been in there, that wouldn't apply there. It does give you a couple of options should you really want to do this, where you could print that particular entry form. But this is designed to be a quick add, quick entry process. So you could just click on the dashboard and it will take you right back here. It will confirm it's the member team again each time to ensure that you do not errantly put members in the wrong team. And so you can say, sure, I'll go. I'm going to continue on. Now I'm just going to hit the quick add and I'll continue on adding all of my quick adds. So it could be as quick and as simple as just several screens for the quick add. The next thing that will happen is on the actual day when you're doing all of the before pictures and getting them registered, checked into the platform for the actual challenge, you would go to the before check-in point. Once you do this, it only gives you two options. If you have used the quick add button, then you will, to preload all of your contestants, and you'll simply be using the lookup button. If you have not preloaded all of your contestants, then you would be at the same time on this day of launch, you would be adding new. It's very clear when you go ahead and do lookup, it tells you step by step what you should be doing to eliminate errors. And so I can go in and I can type in test, I can click the search button, and then I can find my record. Something that's important here is it gives you very clear instructions. Should you have a list of multiple people that match that particular portion of the name, and that list of multiple people is here, then what you will need to do, as just according to the instructions, is tap one time to select the record. It highlights it, and then tap it a second time to launch forward. It will then confirm, if you did the search, it will confirm that this is the person that you are dealing with. You can confirm their name and email address, phone number, gender. You can click go, and at this point, you should have all of the information correct. If for some reason you had done a quick add for a particular person, and that quick add had originally thought that they were going to maybe start on the week of the 30th, but something comes up, and so they're going to now be launching on the week of January the 6th. You are able to change the flight week and the date, the measurement date for that particular person on that flight week. And so you're able to change that here, simply click forward, and at this point you would be entering in their information. If you happen to know their trainer name, you can do that, and then you can put in the beginning weight of this person, and you can put in their waist measurements for this person, along with their hips and their right thigh and their body fat percentage. And then you just simply move forward. At this point, it gives you the opportunity to upload their before pictures here for both the front and the back. It gives you some great tips right here. It says, do not close the tool. Please upload those photos at a high resolution. And it's important that you understand that depending upon your photo resolution, the upload speed could vary, as well as based upon your type of internet connection. As an example, if you are using a laptop computer with Wi-Fi internet connection, and you're not in a strong section of the Wi-Fi area in the club, it could definitely impact your upload. However, if if you're using a computer that is hardwired connected to the internet, and you have a good internet speed, then you should not have a problem. The way that this works is you would have this particular computer connected to the camera that you're using to take the photos. And then what you can do is when you click on the upload before, then it brings up your area where you would be doing the where you would have, you know, all of your folders, and you can go in and find the particular photo that you want to select. And once you find the photo you want to select, you would just select upon that photo and click open, and it would load that photo here. And so that would be the upload before front photo. You would do the same thing on the back photo. Once you have selected those photos, then you would proceed forward. Once you've proceeded forward, you will get to the publicity waiver, and this is where you would then want to have that person use the mouse to select, to go ahead and sign their name using the mouse on the screen there. You would proceed forward. It would again generate the official entry form and automatically put in their weight, waist, hips, thigh, and body fat measurements. And at this point, if you click send email, it will send an email that includes their photos in a thumbnail format. And so you could encourage them to take those thumbnails and you know, get motivation potentially from some of their supporters in the challenge, saying, hey, I've joined the challenge, you know, support me on my journey. Otherwise, you could just click on dashboard, and it would say, again, confirm this is the member team. That's what I want. Let's go. And then I would just click on before check-in, and I would just crank through all of the people. On the midpoint check-in, which is optional, the midpoint check-in, you should not be adding new. If you were to add a new contestant at the midpoint check-in, then it would be creating a new record. At this point, for the midpoint and the final check-in, you should always be looking up looking up the person who is already in the system. You should find them, tap a second time, confirm that you have the right person, and proceed forward. And you could put in your midpoint measurements into the system, and those midpoint measurements will automatically calculate the percentage change of those measurements within the system, and then you could proceed forward within the technology. It will confirm those additional points, and then you would just go back to the dashboard and do the next one, again confirming the member team. And then you would get to the final check-in. So after 12 weeks, then you will be doing your final check-in. And again, you will just simply be looking up each of the contestants. Once you look that up, you will find them, you will highlight it, click a second time, move forward, confirm you have the right contestant, and then it should give you a prompt that the publicity waiver is signed. We will talk later how you can upload an additional publicity waiver if you needed to, but it is absolutely the best practice to get the publicity waiver signed within the technology. One of the goals of this system is to eliminate paper and to eliminate lost waivers, lost paperwork within the system. You would then confirm forward, and you would go ahead and put in all of their final measurements within the system. And again, it will be calculating those the change within the system there, and you will be able to see all of those changes over time, the difference and the percentage change. You would move forward. There is a quick survey wanting to understand if maybe they had participated in personal training or AMP or studio boot camp, something like that during the challenge. And so that's just some neat information that we're gaining there. Then if I had, and I did not, if I had uploaded the images properly, then those images from the before check-in would be here. If you get to this point and you don't see those images, that's going to be a problem. And so you want to make sure that when you're on the upload image screen that I went through earlier, that you take care to ensure that you get those images uploaded. The next screen after that gives you the ability to upload your after images. It works exactly the same way, and you will then be able to upload the after images from both the front and the back. I'm going to take one moment and jump over to the challenge guide, which again I mentioned earlier will have all of the tutorials. I believe that in the challenge guide it actually shows a good example of taking those before and after images, and so this is what it should look like whenever you have uploaded those properly. Again, everyone should know the rules where you would have the contestant ID and something verifying the date on those images. And then if you get to the final check-in and you upload the other images, then you would be able to see the after images having been uploaded properly within the system. Once you have uploaded the after images, it will actually show you the before and after images on the screen. And you'll notice that there's a very clear example that says, click whenever you are happy with the images. If for some reason you have uploaded your final images and you feel like, oh man, that's not exactly the best, I didn't get it right, we need to retake that photo, it's not showing up properly, something like that, then you could retake that photo and then upload that new photo. Again, you'll notice that there's no forward button here until you actually click saying, yes, I am happy with these images. You'll get a visual prompt saying, yes, I am happy, and then you will move forward. The next screen allows you to upload the essay. So if you had the essay in, say, a Word format or some other format that was digital, you could actually copy and paste the essay right here. And so as far as pre-planning, if you had all of those essays maybe in various places, people maybe had emailed them or submitted them in some way, and you had all of those handy, then you could just paste that. One thing that's important to know and understand is that this is plain text. Any sort of formatting or special characters, emojis, anything like that are going to be removed. This is just a plain text editor. The other option that you have for uploading your essay is to select or upload a JPEG image. If everyone would please take a moment and pay attention. This is a change. In the past, we had allowed PDF images to be uploaded. However, there were often some issues with the PDF conversion and issues with those PDF files. And so this year, it is a JPEG image. A couple of examples here. Let's just say that someone had submitted their essay in a PDF format. If it was on one page, then you could simply take a photo of that with a mobile device and then have that photo sent to where you could access it from this computer and then upload that picture, because that would be a JPEG image. So it's not going to take or handle a PDF as it might have done in the past. Again, very important point for everyone to take note. Once you have uploaded the essay, then you would go to the end and it would show you all of the calculations, all of the changes from the beginning, initial, and to the end. And again, this is the point where if you send that email, it will send the email with their images to them. If for some reason someone wanted all of this information, but they did not want their photos included in that, then you could select this particular button. But then at that point, you've got that person finalized. You would click on the dashboard, and it would take you back to the dashboard here. So what we've done is we've gone through the quick add, the before, the midpoint, and the final check-in. I will come back to the high-res upload a little bit later because that is for only your top 10 or the very top people that you believe might have a chance to win. And we'll come back to that in a little bit. What I wanted to do now is I wanted to go through the menu. When I click on the menu, here are the options. The first one is that we have the team info and review. And so if you needed to look at the team information, then it will actually go in and it will load, and you would actually have the ability to go in and look at all of the measurements and information that you might have for all of the various contestants. And so that is in the menu in your team info and review. The next item is you have the email resend and print function. In the event that someone says, oh, I didn't get my email, can you send that to a different email address? You would just bring this up, and then you would look that person up. Let's just say that it was our record test. You would search for them, you would find them, and then what it will do is confirm that, yes, this is the right person, in fact, and it would immediately take you here and allow you to send the email and go back to the dashboard. So once I have done that, then that is taken care of that on the menu. The next item that we have built this year is a contestant editing tool. Now the contestant editing tool, again, it will load in a new tab for you. This is important for everyone to understand. This is for authorized use only. All of the changes made using this tool will be logged and reviewed, not only by the technology, also by someone from the national judging panel. And it's really important that everyone understands that if any data is changed that other than a simple fix, such as an edit for a typo, or I got their email address just wrong, or their name was misspelled, or something that's a very simple change, any other change would subject that contestant to disqualification. And so this is important that everyone understands that this is for authorized use only. Once you go into this tool, then let's just say that I was going to look up our record test here. It would bring up test, and let's just say that for whatever reason, this person's real name was Test, and we just, had forgotten to put an E on. You'll notice that as soon as I change the word test to test, as soon as I move away, and maybe I'm going to also look at their phone number, any time that any click of any kind is made on the page, then that particular edit has been locked in. Okay? And so it's important that everyone understands that. Next, it is possible in this, if someone had created a duplicate contestant for some reason, it is possible to delete that contestant. And so you can click on the delete test contestant, but I want to let you know that it is critically important that you don't do that, and we try to make sure that you truly mean that you want to delete this contestant forever. Deletion is permanent, and it cannot be undone or recovered. So I don't want to do that. Then if I click on search again, it would allow me to continue editing within the tool. You'll notice that that did pop up in a new tab, and so I can just jump over tabs back to the dashboard. The next tool in the menu is the publicity waiver upload. And in this publicity waiver upload, again, you could go, you're not going to want to add new, you're going to want to look up, and I could look up test, find my record, highlight it with the first click, the second click would launch it, confirm that I'm looking at the right person, and then I could go and upload their paper waiver. Again, this is not the best practice. This is not ideal. We prefer that the waiver be done in the challenge platform with the digital copy, but understandably, sometimes this happens. As a reminder, this also is JPEG only. So if someone had signed a paper waiver and you wanted to upload that, again, you would need to take a photo of that and then get that photo in a place where you could navigate over to find that photo and upload it within the technology system. Once you have uploaded that, it will just let you know that the waiver entry is complete and you can go back to the dashboard. The last one is that you can see a list of all staff users from the menu. So if I click on the staff users, it will tell you exactly who this is. And you'll remember that there were a few here and then I added one. And again, the technology this year will be tracking all of the changes that are made according to the staff person that is associated with this. So the last thing that I want to mention is that we have added a new feature, which is our high-res upload. Again, the high-res upload is designed for doing your final submissions. We will be doing additional training on this functionality for the judging process and the judging webinar. But I wanted to cover it today. Again, you would just be doing a lookup. You would be going to find your top 10 winners that you believe are going to, that are local winners that are going to be in the best position to win the national contest. You would select them, confirm that you're working with the right person. You would then upload. Let's just say that you had engaged to have professional photos taken, and you want to upload. You would upload your before images on this particular screen, and then you would upload your after professional photos here. This tool is designed to take the highest resolution images. We strongly recommend that when you use this functionality that you have a computer that is hardwired to the internet. A strong Wi-Fi connection will work. However, a hardwired internet connection will set you up for the greatest level of success and ensure the shortest amount of upload time for these very, very high resolution photos. Once you have done that, again, it gives you the ability to say, I'm happy. I would get confirmation that I'm selecting the images. It would tell me that it's complete and return me to the dashboard. So very excited to be bringing this dynamically enhanced challenge platform to the Gold Gym community. And at this point, I'm going to turn it, Deborah, I'm going to turn it back over to you, and we will go from there.
Okay, great. Darren, this is awesome. I mean, I don't know where to start with how great this looks and the functionality, and it's simple, it's flexible. I think the teams are going to really enjoy working with the tool this year. So thank you for walking us through all these steps. So everyone, we have a group of people with us today. whether you've called in, some of you have just dialed in with a phone number. If you, well, I think you should be able to, well, I'm not sure how actually a person that's called in can let me know that they want to talk. I might just unmute all of the phone lines. There's a few of those. But for everyone that's joined with the link and that can see the screen, I see your names. And if you'll raise your hand, I'll be happy to unmute you. You can talk to Darren and the other team members with any questions you have. Or if you want to type something into the, you have a Q&A box, I can read questions to Darren there. So, Darren, I'm watching for that. But I do think it makes sense to maybe unmute these people. Well, I'm going to unmute people first come, first serve. So, Caden Lee, I've just unmuted you. Let me try again. Caden? Should be able to work. All right. Caden, I'm going to come back to you. I'm trying to unmute your line, but Ashley Koch.
In addition, Deborah, I have sent a message in the chat function, and so in the Zoom interface, if they will take their cursor all the way down to the bottom, it would pop up that menu, and then they could see chat, and they could click on chat and type in a question there as well if they do not have audio.
Okay, perfect. Yes, and I've got the Q&A box.
Oh, I see that.
Andrea from SoCal, if you can see it, Darren, she's asking for uploading photos. Which works best, portrait or landscape?
We're going to say that the portrait is definitely typically going to work best, but depending upon your particular camera, you could try two. I would recommend maybe doing a test record and seeing how it looks and which one you're happiest with, but typically it would be portrait, especially if you are going to be sending the emails that have the thumbnail images, those thumbnail photos, because as you are getting people that maybe are excited about the challenge and they want to get people supporting them, they could actually post, if they wanted to, they could post those images and get people to, cheer them on.
Okay, great. Darren, if you don't mind, I do see some chats, but let's take Sarah Guzman from Flanders, New Jersey. Sarah, are you there? She disappeared off the screen. Ashley Koch, it looks like you should be able to speak now. Ashley's unmuted. And Darren, Caden Lee, if you've muted yourself, that might be why I cannot unmute you. But Caden, there you go. Caden, would you like to talk to Darren? Darren, I'm not sure why we can't hear Caden or Ashley. Their lines are not muted. But let's see. Okay, here from Caden and from Ashley. Do you see their written questions? I'll read Ashley's and then you can answer to the whole crowd. Ashley says, what examples of date verification? What is examples of date verification for photos? Can you also send the link to the website?
So date verification for the photos, that might be a good question for Dave or someone. I can let you know that one of those is holding a newspaper that is from that day that shows that particular date. Yep, I see an answer from Melanie there. A newspaper is the very, very best way to do that. As far as the link to the website, the link for the challenge is going to be in the PDF guide. And then Deborah, you can let me know. I believe that has already been sent.
Are you talking about the PDF package that Amy put together?
Yes.
Okay. We have it. We're going to send a standalone out on Monday morning to all registered teams, everyone on our email, database list.
Okay, so that will be coming
all
on.
of those links. Yeah, the whole package. It'll be standalone specifically for the VFP tool, and then after Monday, that whole piece will move into our weekly publication where we have a whole section on the challenge, and it'll be there, for as long as it needs to be until we're close to the close of everything. So.
Very good.
Okay. All right. So Caden Lee is asking, do we have to use the contestant ID that given from the VFP on the dry erase board? Oh, he's asking, do they need to take your number that's generated in your system and physically write that on the dry erase board when they take the photo of the person, the contestant? And he says he found it easier in the past to use their own number system.
No, it is definitely best to, you need to use, not best, you need to use the contestant the contestant ID that is generated. That's definitely the best practice. You could use your own ID. It would not disqualify a contestant, but it makes it more difficult sometimes on the judging panel to cross-reference, especially if those numbers don't match for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Andrea Osmus with SoCal is saying that the email that is sent to contestants, is there any additional verbiage? What does the email look like? Is it just the official entry form portion?
It is the official entry form portion, and if they include the images, then those will be included. But there's not, at this point, there's not been a request to have additional information on those emails that are sent to the contestant.
Okay. All right. I'm just watching for any additional questions, and Darren, I guess you can see both the Q&A box and the chat box as well. I don't see anyone else with a raised hand, so I'm watching for that.
Yeah, thanks, Deborah. As you mentioned, with all of the guided access enhancements that have been made to the platform this year, it is very, very user-friendly, very straightforward, and we are hoping to eliminate almost all questions that may come up. So it's not shocking to me that there are not a lot of questions. That's a good sign.
Mm-hmm. Okay, absolutely. And Darren, you know what we experienced? I mean, your team does an amazing job with starting with Amy, and people really start to have questions when they sit down to do this. It sounds, and I'm also, if I was doing this, I'm totally convinced that I could do this. But when you sit down to do it, then you do come up with some questions. I'm going to read another question from Andrea, and then after that, I'd love for you to talk about how they can get in touch with the support line. Of course, we'll communicate that all out as well when they do need some help and have questions. Andrea is asking, who adds the staff users, and can clubs add their own staff users since they have multiple clubs on one team?
The clubs add their own staff users, no problem. That is part of the tool. And when you go into the system and launch it each time, it's very, very simple to add that. And if I go to the list staff users, it would actually show who had been added. But it's very, very simple to add those. So if you click the Start Over button, it brings you right here. You can easily add your new staff member.
Okay. And then can you tell everyone the email address for contacting And you might have you had a place on the dashboard that showed that, actually.
The support is that you can do is very simple. It will be in the guide that is provided as well. But it is very simple. It is simply support at VFP.us. So it's very simple. It's support at VFP.us.
Okay, perfect. And the team, your team, responds very, very quickly on anything that teams need. All of us, our contact information is in everything that we send out. I believe it's on Brand Center as well. All the resources are, including, we'll have the recording of today's webinar. So anyone on our team can take a question, and if we know that it needs to be answered by Amy and team, then we will make sure that, we introduce that person to you guys. I know that Amy has said in the past, and she's with us listening and has confirmed that email address, that that is a preferred way for communication because it establishes a service ticket, if you will. It gives your team a path, a trail to help someone and work through if there is an issue or just to answer questions. So
there's one more question from Andrea in the question and answer, and she's asking about the edit tool. And the edit tool is you do not have to click save. Once you are in there, it doesn't matter where you click, it will save what you had typed into that section to ensure that every edit of any kind is tracked. It just automatically saves it upon any click.
That's awesome. And watch to see if she has any other comments or anyone in chat. Okay, I still don't see any other raised hands. And so Darren, she said thank you. I'd like to ask, Dave Kenyon's with us, and so is Melody. I'd like to ask Dave Kenyon if he'd like to say hello to everyone and give us an inspirational message. Hi, Dave.
Thanks, Deborah. Inspirational message. I'm super excited about the tool this year, and I think it's the improvements in Darren and Amy and the team have made at VFP are outstanding, and it's just exciting to see. And we're looking forward to a really great challenge this year. And everybody on the call who's participating, it's make sure that you're diligent in everything that you do. And we're super excited to see all the people that are going to change their lives, and that's our mission, changing people's lives. And I think it's something that we're going to be really good at this year. And I wish everybody good luck.
Great. Thanks, Dave. And Darren, if you don't mind, I want to also ask Melody from corporate. Melody, do you have any updates from the corporate side or just a message that you'd like to share with everyone?
No updates. I'm just excited to see the new tool come to life for this year's challenge. And, all of the before and afters and really the transformation photos that we're going to get to see within the next few months. So excited.
Great. Thank you. Darren, I agree with everyone. This looks amazing. It really does. It's just, you're at a much higher level now with everything on the tool. And we love that on our side, we're going to communicate that link out. It's cloud-based. We'll be sending this out on Monday morning with everything that Amy provided, the tutorials, the PDF, guide that walks them through everything. And it's just going to be so easy for them to access the tool and then start to work with it. The quick add feature is wonderful, so they can go ahead and get their member contestants loaded in, and it sounds like that will make the weigh-in and before picture day run a lot more smoothly and quickly. So just tons of great ideas this year. So thank you. Okay. So Darren, do you have anything just to close the webinar? We're going to make this recording available. It'll be available through the Brand Center for all teams that go have access there for anything they need for the challenge. All the marketing and the recording will be there, and GGFA will have it also available in our weekly publications and the standalone. And we're always available too. If you simply reach out to us, we can forward anything to you. You might have somebody working on a weekend that doesn't normally receive publications and maybe doesn't get into Brand Center. But even on the weekends, we watch for those requests and would definitely available to help. Darren, I know that Amy and team are, jump in and help with any teams that need help as well. So thank you for presenting this exciting new tool to us today.
Very good. The only message that I have is good luck, and I hope you have one of the challenge winners from your club.
Great. Thanks, everyone.